back to Gaming Insurrection's Street Fighter Alpha 3 World Tour Mode playthrough. We are at the end, the very last episode of this. We are on episode 6, and in this episode, as I pointed out in other episodes, we're going to do the special matches that they added in for World Tour Mode in the Dreamcast and the PSP version of Street Fighter Alpha 3's World Tour Mode. In these matches, you're going to fight a bunch of boss characters, what are considered boss characters and secret characters. There's like 3 fights. There's 3, and they're in like one site called Gokentao. Gokentao. I think that's how you pronounce it. So, in these fights, you're going to fight Akuma, Evil Ryu, Shin Akuma, and Dictator. And you're probably fighting Final Dictator, if I'm not mistaken. So, this fight, I've done it a couple of times, and it's interesting. So, yeah. I had to play through, and this was one of the things, and I will talk about this as we're going through this. This was one of the things I disliked about this version, this specific version of World Tour Mode, and why I prefer the PlayStation version more. In this version, you cannot go back. Once you have beaten this, you cannot go back in and fight these matches again in the Dreamcast version, and most likely the PSP version. You can't go back and do it. Once you've gotten the points from it and you've gotten the star for your character, you can't load them again. And you cannot go back in here and do it again. I know because I've tried. I've tried numerous times, and I was like, wait, I assume I can't redo this? Like, I can't go back and do this? So, in order to do these matches, I had to start a new character, go in, play all the way through, and get to the end, and then record these matches. So, a little behind-the-scenes baseball, inside baseball, about how I recorded this, but suffice to say, this is not a fun process, and it was a lot of work. It was a lot of extra work when I was like, y'all could have just let me do this on a character that's already been unlocked. I'm just saying. So, that's one of the reasons why I don't like it. Now, it does have some advantages here. It does have where you can see what your upcoming fights are going to be for each one. But what I don't like about this mode, the other major thing about this I don't like is the fact that you cannot, it's set up weird. So you have to like choose your own adventure basically. So if you go get, if you do a certain thing and unlock matches and you go to get this Ism Plus, it also takes much longer to get Ism Pluses. If you go and try to go get an Ism Plus and it's down another branch path, you have to do branch paths. And I don't like that. So it means you miss out on one. So there was one when I was playing through this where if I fought Evil Ryu in America, like one of the America sites, I would have unlocked a specific Ism Plus. But because I did the other match instead of that one, I didn't get that Ism Plus. I didn't unlock that Ism Plus. And I was like, but really though? I don't like that. I prefer the PlayStation version, which has the bug in it, where you don't unlock all of the Ism Pluses. So, yeah. And then on top of this, you only get like 5. Now, the thing is, they're all on at once. So, there's that part of that. But I still prefer the PlayStation version. So, anyway, we're going to get started. Hopefully, this is going to go, it's going to be really short. This episode's really short because you're at this fight and that's all that's left. So, we're going to get started now. So, this is a really weird thing. It's out in the middle of the ocean where Akuma's fight was and Shin Akuma's fight was in the PlayStation version. So, you're going to fight Akuma and Evil Ryu first. I feel like they made a lot of changes. Looking at this status menu and all, they made a lot of unnecessary changes. That was the other thing I didn't like about this version of it. These changes are unnecessary. I didn't need all those. I was fine with what you gave me in the PlayStation version. If you wanted to soup it up a little bit, you could have fixed the bug. But I didn't need all this. I don't like where it's giving you the little, what looks like a DDR groove menu. It looks like the groove menu from DDR, later DDR. I I don't need all that. That was so unnecessary. So in this fight, you're gonna fight Akuma, and I think you're fighting Evil Reed. Yes, yeah, you are. You fight Evil. Oh, and they just told me up. Also, too, the other thing I don't like about this, you'll notice I have a lot of cons against it, and I'll explain this while I'm using. I'm also using a code that's not taking damage as I did in the PlayStation version because, you know, continuity. We're gonna say that continuity. But the they're very fond of pitting you against multiple opponents. I was like, Akuma, you lay down there and watch your buddy get hurt. But one of the things the other thing that I don't like about this is the ism down there. You kind of have to know what ism you have on. Like if you, I mean, it tells you up here at the end of the thing, but you gotta know what ism you have on. It doesn't tell you down at the bottom. Like you have to know you're in a-ism. And it's like, but really? So now I'm fighting Shin Akuma and Dictator. And I'm pretty sure it's regular Dictator. Alright, so it's not Final Dictator. So I'm trying to fight both of them and take out Bison. So that then all I have to do is fight a second Bison once I kill Shin Akuma. Shin Akuma is really the problem. So I just want to be able to fight Bison because then I can do that. Final Bison is also not a problem, but he does not have instant recovery like Final Bison does. So, yeah, that's not a hard fight. If you can get rid of the Shin Akuma. That's the thing. You got to get rid of Shin Akuma first. Now, this one is super annoying. This one is against two dictators. And they're both, if I'm not mistaken, they're both final dictators. Yes, they're both final dictators. And the reason why you can tell that is because they both have the, and he set me up too. They both have the Shadow Loop symbol. So yeah, he set me up. He set me up so I would take the hit from his buddy who did the super. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And notice they're sandwiching me, which is what you don't want. You really don't want to get sandwiched. You also want to be blocking on one side so that you don't take the hit. I was in the middle of doing an action. So now I'm going to go ahead and kill everybody. Or at least try. This match took forever, and I jumped in the air, so I ate that super. Oh, I'd have been dead by now if this had been, me with no code on. I'd have been dead. So, I've been dead a long time ago. Because I done took a bunch of these Psycho Crushers. I mean, one of these by themselves is obnoxious, so I know two of them are obnoxious. Also, it's going to come down to time, too. 6 seconds left. Fooling with these dictators. So, that's those matches. That's it. That's it. They made that. I feel like they added that on just to have something to add on. They tacked that on, and I was just like, but really, did we need that, though? I don't think we needed that. I could have done without. And I'm very glad I bought the PlayStation version when it came, well, about a year after it came out. But I played it right after it came out. And that's the version that I learned. I learned arcade, and I learned PlayStation version. And I know people have problems with the PlayStation version. I know they do, but I actually really like the PlayStation version over the Dreamcast version. I prefer the way the PlayStation version plays. I'm not a fan of the way the Dreamcast version plays. So there's that. But yeah, that's those last few fights that they added on. So then they give you your status here. And I think they give you your status. Yeah, they give you your end status, and you get the last chance to. I still haven't figured out how to change my ism for my character that I created once I am finished with the mode, because maybe I want to use the Vism or the Xism. So I'm not sure. So when you save here, you're gonna get the star at the end, and you finish. So that's it. Yeah, we're done. Yeah, we're done. So that's it. And I really, really did enjoy playing through this again. I enjoyed doing this and having a good time playing through World Tour mode, because it's one of my favorite modes to play through. It's one of my Street Fighter Alpha 3 is one of my favorite games. We've done a review of it, and I gave it almost a perfect score, if not a perfect score. I really enjoy Street Fighter Alpha 3. When they said Street Fighter Perfection, they meant Street Fighter Perfection. It's a good game. Now, I don't need as many versions of it as there are out in the world floating around, but I really enjoy Street Fighter Alpha 3. So I'm curious to see what's going to come up in this upcoming um, Capcom Fighting Collection 2 that has Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper in it. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be the arcade version of it. It's not going to be any of the home ports, but the arcade version had all of the extra characters too. It might even be double Upper, but I think it's just regular Upper. So I want to thank you for watching. I hope you've had a good trip through this as much as I have and learned a little bit of something about Street Fighter Alpha 3's World Tour mode. Please come back and watch the rest of our videos. We have way more content for Street Fighter Alpha 3, which is the subject of our classic focus for this issue 52. I will see you later, and thanks for watching.